We're talking to former Congressman and new House Chief Communications Officer, Congressman Ace Barbers. Good afternoon, Kong. Thanks for joining us again here on StoryCon.
Good afternoon,
Hi,
Kong.
good afternoon
Hi,
again.
Congressman.
Good afternoon, Ami and Regina, Ed, and Sec Ronald. Magandang hapon sa inyo at sa ating mga
Magandang hapon,
kababayan.
Good afternoon, sir.
Kong,
Kong, ano bang status nyo ngayon?
kaya,
Yeah.
hindi niyo tatanong.
Oh.
Are you still the House
Actually, I'm no
Comms
longer
Chief?
the Chief Communications Officer ng 20th Congress because I think the new Speaker has appointed another person to be the Chief Communications Officer. However, yung last na statement that I issued in behalf of the Speaker was when he resigned. No? At binanggit niya kung ano yung rason at yung kanyang paninindigan na dapat ituloy ang investigasyon ng ICI na walang mag-iimpluwensya at walang pakikialam na manggagaling mula sa mababang kapulungan.
Right. So si Speaker Martin nga yung nag-hire sa inyo, Kong, to be the...
Yes. That time kasi they had to, alam mo, usually kasi pag may change of leadership, all positions are actually deemed vacant.
Of course.
So, merong ika nga unspoken courtesy resignation doon sa tradition dyan sa House. That's why to give the new speaker, the new leadership, a free hand as to who will they appoint on certain positions in the House.
Pero di ba, Kong, ang agreement ay as is where is? Kumaga, walang ibabakante ng mga positions at this point habang may budget process?
Yes, that is correct. Except for some, like the position that the Speaker Romualdez created, itong Chief Communications Officer. So it follows that when he resigns, I also follow his resignation.
So that's as Chief Communications Officer. What about as the spokesperson of Martin Romualdez? Are you still speaking in behalf of Martin Romualdez?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Ed, no, until now, I'm still in constant communication with the Speaker and trying to help in the communications aspect. No?
Okay.
In fact, wala naman siyang ibang except for his personal comments on issues that are affecting him. Siya po ang nagsasalita dyan.
So, Kong, alam niyo na yung next question namin, no? Which is the last time we spoke to you, you said all that talk about the leadership change was just ingay, noise lang. He's not planning to step down, and then, well, a few days later, eto na nga, there was a sudden leadership change.
Yeah,
What happened there? Sabi mo, there's nothing.
That's correct. Yeah, but you remember when I was asked that question, I was telling everybody that as I speak, matibay po at malawak at malaki ang suporta na binibigay pa rin kay Martin Romualdez. In fact, even at the last hour, no, even before he resigned, no, when he finally decided that he will resign, there's still a large number of the members of the House, mga around 90% po rin yan, na nagsusuporta sa kanya. Until he finally decided and told everybody that I must step down. And of course, we respected his decision.
Congressman, kumusta siya ngayon? Have you spoken to him since yesterday? Dahil kahapon pumutok yung bombshell about him eh. Have you spoken to him tungkol dun sa mga new allegations against him? Na medyo seryoso yun, ha?
Medyo seryoso nga. In fact, he issued a statement kahapon.
Yes.
Sinasabi nga niya that of course, he is vehemently denying yung allegation na yun. And being a lawyer that he is, nakita natin na meron silang napansin no, na mga inconsistencies at gaya nga ng sinabi niya, mukhang kinoch ito, no? O ika nga sinusian o hindi kaya ay ito ay parang hindi na-rehearse ng masyado kung sino man ang naglabas sa kanya.
You're talking
What
about
were
Orly.
inconsistencies? Can you be more specific, Congressman?
Well, unang-una, he said that he delivered money at the residence of the former speaker. Yung bahay na tinuturo niya since January 2024 ay under renovation. Pangalawa,
But the House...
I don't know. In
Sir,
that exclusive village,
sorry,
you won't be able
sir, sorry, but
enter just like that, no?
Kong-
Yung sinasabi
Congressman
niyang
Barber, sorry, let me-
maraming bag, maraming luggages, baka mukhang imposible. Ang tanong, sino diniliberan nitong taong ito doon sa address na sinasabi niya?
Right, but Kong, just to be very clear about this, yung house that Orly Guteza was referring to, yung 42 McKinley, he said street, but I know that to be road. It does belong to Speaker Romualdez?
Well, I believe so. I haven't been
Yeah.
in that address, but I believe because the speaker has not issued any denial. But sinabi nga niya na ito ay under renovation since January 2024.
Pero sir, yung
Congressman, yung
42
kaling yan,
McKinley,
hindi kailangan, walang gwardiya dyan. That's the part of Forbes Park na walang gwardiya.
Yeah,
Yan yung road eh.
merong ano no,
Yan yung
merong
main road eh.
yeah, at siya along the road, no. So magiging
Yeah.
katakataka na kapag ka merong ganung karaming sasakyan na papasok doon sa isang under renovation na bahay, mukhang magtataka tayo bakit merong ganun, no. Pangalawa, kung totoo yung sinasabi ng witness na yan, sino ang pinagbigyan niya? Wala naman pong tao doon. No one is actually staying in that house except for the construction workers since January of 2024.
Pero sir, sabi nga ninyo, nobody can enter just like that. Pero my point po, sir, kasi is that 42 McKinley is not inside or facing
Yeah.
A main road.
Forbes Park mismo or Forbes Park North. It's facing McKinley, which has free access. In other words, it's actually facing, if I remember right, it's facing San Antonio Mall. So, pwedeng pumasok, labas-pasok kahit sino doon through
Main
that
road
entrance.
yun eh. It's a
Yes.
thoroughfare.
Yes, it's a major thoroughfare. Yan ay labasan at pasukan ng lahat ng dumadaan ng mula EDSA hanggang BGC.
Opo.
No? O hindi kaya EDSA papuntang Forbes Park o hindi kaya papuntang Dasmariñas Village. So,
Yes.
yung nabanggit ko kanina na hindi basta-basta makapasok, yung sinabi rin itong witness na to that they went to Valle Verde with all these vehicles carrying all these luggages apparently to deliver no to the house of sino to si Congressman
Saldico.
Saldico. Medyo ang ano ko medyo incredible no yung kwento at medyo certain aspects of his story are actually absurd no na hindi ka panipaniwala. Yun nga sa punto nga lang nung sinabi niyang dineliver dun sa McKinley, kanino siya nag-deliver dun?
Di ba si Eric Yap daw ang nagdala?
Well, sabi niya siya nagdala at ang trabaho lang daw niya, ang kanilang mission ay magbuhat at i-deliver ito. I-turn over daw sa mga staff, allegedly sa mga staff. So,
kamusta ba si Speaker Martin ngayon?
Well-
Chill lang ba siya? Anxious ba siya? Wala ba siyang biyahe palabas ng bansa? Paano? Wala naman siyang whole departure order pa, di ba? So, anong kanya ngayon?
So,
Anong
yung
latag
last
niya ngayon?
week we were together, no? Andun kami sa kanyang tinitirhan at napapag-usapan nga namin yung tungkol sa bills that he sponsored in Congress at ano yung tuloy-tuloy na mga bills na mga budget reforms na kanilang itinutulak ngayon under Speaker Boji D, no, under the new speaker. So doon pinag-uusapan pa rin. He's pretty much concerned about the reforms, no. He is not he looks relaxed na ngayon. Medyo of course I guess he's preparing and constantly reading. Yun ang nakita ko, no. And he looks relaxed.
How about Saldico? Nakakausap pa sila ni Speaker?
Yan ang hindi ko alam, Sec Ronald, no? Medyo matagal na yata silang hindi nagkakausap eh. Yun ang pagkakaalam ko eh.
Si Speaker Romualdez ba, does he already have a lawyer?
Well, I believe so. No? He's probably he has some friends in the legal circle, and I strongly believe that if in the event that he will be charged for whatever it is, I think he's ready. He's going to prepare his defense.
Does he believe, sir, that he
Congressman,
will
sabi
be
niyo,
charged eventually?
nag-rehearse, mukhang rehearsed yung testimony. Kung nag-rehearse, sino kaya yung nag-rehearse sa kanya sa suspension nyo?
Yun ang medyo parang kasi pilit na ibinabanggit, no, itong si speaker dun itong testimonya nitong si Gutesa, no, parang rehearsed nga. That's the way
Yes.
he looks at it. And he never actually had second thoughts in saying pilit na pilit yung being a lawyer that he is, alam naman niya, no, at nakikita niya kung ano yung mga ganyang klaseng mga testimonya. So,
Pero
I don't
sino
know.
kaya yung suspecha? Sino kaya yung suspecha niya, Congressman?
Hindi wala siyang nabanggit, no. Pero just early this morning lumalabas, no, na marami palang naging VIP security pala ito na napakaraming personality sa politika at outside the politics. So, taliwas ito do sa sinabi niya sa Senate na I think from his previous employment, pag-retire niya sa Marines, napunta siya sa Coca-Cola and then kay Saldico. I don't know. I think hindi tugma doon sa lumalabas na employment record niya o yung assignment niya o yung detail orders na lumalabas ngayon doon sa kanyang sinasabi sa kanyang testimonya.
Pero sir, considering how things have been going the past few days, does the speaker think that inevitably kakasuhan din siya?
Honestly, I really don't know if he thinks of it that way or if he even feels that it's going to happen. But no, being a lawyer nga that he is, no, I'm sure he's preparing for whatever it is, no. At lagi naman ganyan si speaker, may mga plano yan. Even when he was the speaker of the house, no, he was ahead of ahead of the game, no. Lagi niyang naiisip yung dapat mangyari if a deliberations on a certain proposed legislation will happen or will be started to be deliberated. So nakikita niya yan
Kong, several days ago, finreeze ni Secretary Vince Dizon yung mga air assets ni Saldico. Almost 5 billion pesos worth. Tingin nyo, are you anticipating yung ganong klase ring freezing ng assets ni Speaker Martin?
Sir Ronald, hindi ako sigurado, no? But I don't know. The reason yata na freeze yung kay Congressman Saldico is because there's already a case, no, na na-file sa kanya, no. Wala pa naman akong naririnig o nakikitang final na kaso sa kay former Speaker Martin Romualdez. So, kung meron man, I don't know what assets or kung meron man, if i-freeze. Yun ang tingin ko.
Kasi sinasabi ng mga tao ko, ito yung general perception about it eh. Kasi si Saldico, mukhang diin na diin siya and he was the chair of the Appropriations Committee for most of the 19th Congress, during which si Congressman Romualdez yung speaker. Kaya inevitable daw na hindi siya, na masasabit siya. Pag-uusapan niyo ba yon, yung angle na yon? Kasi kahit walang kahit circumstantial lang, yun ang pinagtutunguhan ng mga suspicion. Did he discuss it with you?
Honestly, no. Hindi namin napapag-usapan yan. And that particular story or angle has still, until now, is still a suspicion. No? Kasi, siyempre, itong chairman ng mga different committees sa House, no? Ito ay nominated and elected by the majority members of the 19th Congress. And it is presumed that whatever they do, whatever they decide on, has the imprimatur of the majority of their members. So I don't know kasi nga until now it remains a speculation. If you recall, I think the camp or the lawyers of Congressman Saldico issued a statement that he has already divested down before he even became a congressman. So I really don't know kung paano ang magiging takbo ng depensa or ng charges against Congressman Saldico.
Okay, so let's come back to Speaker Romualdez. In terms of to follow up on Ed's question, Kong, actually the NBI has already recommended filing charges of indirect bribery and malversation against a number of personalities, including former Speaker Romualdez.
Hindi yata kasama si Speaker.
Hindi yata kasama si Speaker.
Hindi kasama si Speaker.
Nung una kasama eh. And then,
Hindi daw.
Wala. I think ang na-filean lang, members of the Senate, the DPWH personnel.
there are some news reports still including
Hindi,
Speaker
nag-clarify ang NBI
Romualdez.
dyan.
But in any case, when he was I wanted to come back to Ed's point about whether or not he expects to be charged. Was it part of the plan nung nag-resign siya? Did he already see it coming? Is this part of something that he agreed on with President Marcos, for instance? What is going on behind the scenes here? It can't be that hindi niya, wala siyang, as you said, he is someone who always has a game plan, right? So what's happening here behind the scenes?
As far as whatever agreement he had with the president, of course, we don't know that, no? Pangalawa, if being a lawyer that he is, he would anticipate what would be coming, no? Should an investigation be made, no? At third and pinaka-importante, nag-resign siya because he wanted to allay the fears, no, of our kababayan na hindi niya pwedeng impluwensyahan ang anumang resulta ng investigasyon at hindi siya pwedeng makialam. Kasi nga, kapag ikaw ay speaker, malawak ang iyong powers, malawak ang iyong impluwensya at maaari na magkaroon ng ng pakikialam o magkaroon ng pag-iimpluwensya sa maaaring maging desisyon ng investigation. And he doesn't want that. That's why he said, I will resign to give the ICI a free hand to continue its investigation without allaying the fears of our people na merong cover-up na magaganap under my leadership dito sa ating mababang kapulungan. Yun ang kanyang in-emphasize when he resigned.
Yes, sir. Sir, in response to Ami's question kanina, you emphasized na itong chairmanships ng committees were based on nominations by majority of the members of the 19th Congress. I understand naman that that's how it really should be going. Pero the reality is, of course, na the chairmanships are really usually selected by the House leadership and then of course affirmed by the majority of the membership. Now I ask that kasi with the evidence mounting against Zaldico at patong-patong na po yung ebidensya kay Zaldico so far, the question on people's minds is how can the speaker or the former speaker be detached from whatever
All
actions
of
Zaldico did or took as chairman of the Appropriations Committee and eventually the BICAM? Parang ang hirap po atang, medyo mahirap pong i-separate yung dalawa.
Yeah.
Kasi po, kahit pa paano, the APRO committee is a key committee that usually has, and the leadership of that is usually with the imprimatur of the speaker.
Well, actually, why shouldn't he be detached, no, Ed? Kasi ako, my opinion here is that, are we saying na yung ginagawa ng isang chairman, whether tama o mali, may kinalaman ng ating speaker? Is that the only issue that he has to think about every single day? Remember, kaya nga po yan, Chairman, ibig sabihin po yan ay mayroong mayorya ng membro ng mababang kapulungan na nagbigay ng tiwala at confidence sa kanya na para mapatakbo, no, ng tama at wasto ang kumiting kanyang hinahawakan.
Yes.
So, I think it would be unfair to say na may kinalaman. If there are shenanigans committed by any of the committee chair, it would be unfair to say that the leadership has a hand on this. No, at least in my own personal experience in Congress for the last 20 years, hindi ko nakitang ganun yun. No?
Yes, sir, but we're talking about the budget.
Look at it,
We're talking about the budget, the single biggest and most important bill
It's
that
not any
Congress
bill lang,
passes.
it's the budget.
Yes, I agree. But, the budget is not done by the House of Representatives alone. It is done by both the houses, the Senate and the House of Representatives. So why put the blame on the people in the House of Representatives? As you see the revelations coming out now. Sino ba yung merong kinalaman? Allegedly, di ba? So let's see where the evidence will lead these investigations. Kasi nga, pwedeng nag-iimbento lang. Kagaya nga ako, personally, tingin ko dito sa isang witness na ito, nag-iimbento ito. Maybe he has some motives, whether personal or political, I really don't know. No? But it seems that because of the inconsistencies present in his testimony, I would honestly say that he's lying. So,
Ako?
yun ang tingin ko.
Kung in relation doon sa pinag-uusapan natin ngayon, bago bumaba si Speaker Martin Romualdez, nagsalita si Congressman Ronnie Puno na yung mga problema doon sa BICAM ay responsibility lang ni Congressman Saldico at saka si Senate President Cheese Escudero. Hindi nga niya binanggit si Grace Poe eh. So, may ganun bang pagtingin si Speaker Martin din na all these problems sa budget in relation sa BICAM ay problema lang ni Senate President Cheese at saka Saldico, parang implying na whatever shenanigans or anomalies ang may relasyon dito sa BICAM ay itong dalawa lang ang responsible.
In fairness, wala akong narinig na sinabi ni Speaker na ganun na ito lang ang merong kasalanan. He was silent about the issue. In fact, hindi lamang po si Deputy Speaker Ronnie Puno nagsabi na ito ang mga involved. Marami rin pong mga kasamaan sa Kongreso. And even in the Senate, di ba, meron din nagsasalita dyan. So, again, sa tingin ko, itong pananaw ng ating dating speaker, kailangan, tuloy-tuloy yung investigation. Palabas na ang katotohanan sa likod nitong issue ito. Dahil nga maraming nagsasabi, maraming mga pangalan ang binanggit. If you recall, yung first time lumabas itong Diskaya, ang dami niyang binanggit ng mga kongresista. And when he was confronted by the members of the lower house, the couple was confronted during the hearing of the Infracom. Anong sabi nung dalawang mag-asawa? Ay hindi ko po kayo nakilala, hindi ko pa po kayo nakikita. Ngayon ko lang po kayo nakita. And what does that tell us? Diba? Ano ito? Puro kasinungalingan. Lunes, ang sinabi mo, ABC nga. Pagdating nung Martes, napunta ka sa Kongreso, iba na kinakanta mo, XYZ na. So medyo, I think we should really study itong mga statements made, either in favorable or not favorable to a member of Congress, and see where the evidence would lead them. Ang point lang is that kasi tayo mahilig tayong magkaroon ng conclusion right away, especially sa maraming kababayan natin. Pag nakakita ka agad ng post sa social media, parang gospel truth na eh. So dapat talaga mag-iba ang pananaw natin dyan. Dito, ito mabigat ito because galit tayo. Lahat tayo dito galit. Lahat tayo apektado. Wala namang merong monopolya sa galit dito. Lahat po tayo. Ako, in my case, I also feel disappointed. Bakit? Marami akong hinihinging programa, proyekto para sa distrito ko eh. Pero hindi nabibigay lahat ng pangangailangan ng distrito ko. And then later on, I'll find out na meron pala mga ghost projects na ganyan. Ano ba yan?
Right.
Sana pinakinabangan pa ng taong bayan yan sa ibang part ng Pilipinas.
But the point remains, you cannot disconnect the responsibilities of the House leadership here, right? As Senator Ping said, the original sin lies with the House of Congress. Kasi dyan nangyari yung maraming insertions,
yes, I agree,
right? So
Regina,
the budget, I will also point out, Congressman, I will also point out yung budget.
Hindi yan isang bahay lang, dalawang bahay po yan.
Correct, but
hindi naman po alam ng isang bahay kung ano ginagawa ng isang bahay. So,
right, but
hindi ho natin pwedeng gawing basihan yon sa ating konklusyon o sa ating desisyon dito sa usaping ito. Malalim po itong usapin na ito, and sabi ko nga, 'di ba, let those who wants to reveal whatever they want to reveal, but this must be substantiated with evidence.
Right.
Yung
And
talagang hindi pwedeng basta-basta ma-dispute na evidence.
But I also just want to correct something you said earlier about we don't think we're not at this point saying that Speaker Romualdez had a hand in this mess, but there is a thing as command responsibility, right? Itong budget na to had been an issue since last year. Even the president called it the most mangled budget, right? Other people have called it the most corrupt budget in history. So matagal na to. The problem is Congress has power of the purse, right? So what the accountability here also lies with the leadership at that time. We're not saying that he was responsible for the insertions, but how does he see his accountability in all of this?
Yeah, that's the reason why he resigned. So that when the investigation will happen and he will be subjected to an investigation, no one can say that he will influence nor even attempt to cover up his involvement if there are evidence to prove that he indeed has a role to play in this issue. Kaya nga hindi talaga hindi maiwasan na magkaroon ng iba't ibang opinion tungkol dito. Dahil nga nakikita natin na every single day may lumalabas na ebidensya, na testimonya na kulang sa ebidensya. So yun na lang, no? Siguro hintayin natin yung ebidensyang yan.
Kong, on a different note,
Congressman,
kamusta ba ang klima ngayon
you've
sa
been talking
House,
to
Kong?
the speaker regularly, no? Hanggang ngayon, the former speaker, no? Kumusta po siya? Do you discuss his political plans? Sinabi ba niya na baka maapektuhan yung kanyang yung political fortunes as a result of what's happening? Kasi matagal na siyang representative ng Tacloban, ay ng distrito niya. So ano po yung napag-uusapan niyo? In fact, nung nag-uumpisa yung mga gulo sa buhay niya, nag-umpisa, I think, nung napagsuspetsahan na ibalak siyang tumakbo as president in 2028. Kumusta yung political plans niya ngayon?
Well, sabi nga niya na now that he has a lot of time to focus in his district, he will definitely devote all his time, no, to his constituents in Tacloban, and of course, more time to spend with his family. Yun ang huli niya nga nabanggit nung nagkikwentuhan kami after he has resigned.
Kong, kamusta yung climate ngayon sa House? Meron kasi akong mga nakausap na ang balita ay hindi ganun karami dumadalo sa budget process ngayon. May mga nabalitaan ako na maraming demoralized, hindi malinaw yung kanilang political future. Mismo daw yung mga minimums na dapat makuha nila in limbo pa ngayon. Hindi lang yung mga usapin ng insertions at saka flood control. Ikatlo ay parang anxious yung maraming kongresista of what will happen, hindi lang sa kanila individually, kung hindi dun sa institution of the House. Ano bang tingin nyo dun sa nangyayari ngayon sa House in terms of climate, in terms of moral ng mga kongresista?
Well, yung last time na nandun ako sa Kongreso, dinalo ko si Speaker Boji D, and I had a few minutes, no, to sit down and speak to him about plans at itong mga plano ng Kongreso, no. Mukhang ayos naman ang pakiramdam ko, no, na nakikita ko dahil maya't maya datingan ng mga kongresista at panay nagpupugay at bumabati kay Speaker Boji. At mukhang they're all now busy with the budget. If you remember, Sir Ronald, itong pinakamalaking komite ay ang Committee on Appropriations. And during this time of the year, no, pag nag-umpisa na yung pag-submit mula ng July, no, ng budget hanggang December, ang pinaka-busy committee dyan itong Committee on Appropriations, which I think 1/3 yata ng membro ng Kongreso ng 20th Congress ay member nitong committee ito, and they are asked to attend religiously, no, all the committee hearings. So sa plenary, medyo nagkakaroon ng konting siguro kabawasan dun sa attendance kasi nga depende dun sa topics for the day, no? Kung ano man yung mga ahensyang tatalakayin ng araw na yon dito sa plenaryo. So I think the kaya medyo parang kumukonte. But generally, the way I look at it, mukhang okay naman, no? Kumbaga parang supportive sila dito sa administrasyon ni Speaker Bogie D and sa ating of course sa ating administrasyon.
Okay, we'll leave that there for today. Thanks so much for coming back and talking to us, former Congressman and former Congressman Ace Barbers. Salamat, sir.
Salamat, Kong.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank
thank you very
you,
much. Thank you,
Congressman.
Andy, Ed, Sec Ronald, and Regina. Maraming salamat po.